Hi everyone, it's your favorite host Darius, and you're watching Your Perspective. Joining me today, we got the bubbly, outgoing, and adventurous Allyson Beetham.
Oh
Thank you
my
so much for doing the
God.
show.
Thank you. That was like the sweetest introduction. Bubbly.
Thank you. Do you mind doing a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I am a local government budget analyst by day, and then by night I'm going to be doing yoga teacher training. I've been working as a budget analyst for about 6 years now, but my background has been all over the place with psychology and women and gender studies. I got my master's in public administration, so I went like the government route. But basically, I think all of my, like looking back, all of the things I've done have a trend of like I wanted to help people. My career has kind of gone like in a totally different direction, but I feel like it's kind of coming back around now to where, yeah, it feels good. Like it feels good. I feel like I've been doing I'm in an analytical field, but I've been doing a lot of yoga. And we'll see if my career grows in a different way. We will see. So right now it's just on the side. But yeah, in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm originally from the north, moved to the south, so I got a bit of the northern and southern. I feel like people don't know where to put me. Sometimes like the southern will come out, and sometimes the northern will come out. But I'm really excited to talk about some of our topics for today. I know that
Yeah.
you'll introduce them in a little bit, but yeah, basically I've been single for I've been dating for about 2 years now out of a serious relationship I was with for like most of my 20s. And so these past 2 years, I've been focusing on my career. I've been focusing on trying to date and just like learning a lot about the dating field.
Yes, it changed completely.
It changed. I was like 20 when I started dating my ex, and then I never did online dating really. And then, yeah, so I know we'll talk about that. But this has been a year where I've been learning a lot about my mental health. I'm going to therapy, I feel like all these things I'm working on, and I don't know, hopefully 2025 will be more of that. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. And for those who don't know, I met Allison through my husband, but now she's my friend and my friend only. No, I'm playing. And I'm playing.
You're
And
pretty
you're truly a
close.
sweetheart. And I feel like you're someone who will drop anything for and like come running. So like I love that.
Oh,
So once again, thank you for appearing on the show. It means a lot. So today we're going to be discussing how to determine if someone is deemed dateable and is monogamy now considered taboo. So for the first time ever on my podcast, Your Perspective, the audience will be partaking in watching a live dating show with Allison being our contestant. Let's see. Can
I
you see my
love
screen?
that. I'm excited. Yeah,
Give me 1 second. Can you see my screen?
we'll see. Yes.
Okay. So welcome to Your Perspective dating show. So the point of the show, I'm going to give you just two eligible bachelors who are looking to take you on a date. And so I'm going to go over their personality traits, attributes. You have to pick one and explain who would you pick and why you picked a person.
Let's go. I love this. I do this
So
too.
so bachelor number one. Can you see him? Okay, his name is Daniel Williams. He's 34 years old. He has 6 feet. He's an Aquarius. He's a lawyer and owns his own firm. And his bio consists of, I constantly tell my children's mother, who I currently live with, that we are going to be together forever. I will be honest, I have been cheating on her for the past 5 years. I am currently looking for a second woman to help out around the house while I'm out golfing. Hashtag, I want a real woman. So this is bachelor number one. Okay, right.
Please
Bachelor
go.
number two. His name is Robert Smith. He's 32 years old. He's 5 foot 5 inches, and he's a Cancer. He works at Amazon. His bio says, I am currently looking for my better half and someone to venture to this world with. I am very compassionate and very ambitious. I am a firm believer of 50-50 and not into gender roles, as the female cooks and cleans while the man leads. If my lady wants to lead, I do not mind sharing a background, if that's what she needs. So out of these two bachelors, who would you pick? Bachelor number one, Daniel, or bachelor number two, Robert?
Can we dive into them before I pick?
Yes.
This is the tough. Okay, so let me tell you my thoughts about Daniel.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, Daniel Williams, cute name. 34. I'm 30. 6 foot. Okay, 6 foot club. I'm a Libra, and I'm into horoscopes a little bit, and they're like, we vibe.
Toxic. They're toxic to me.
They're toxic. Maybe that's
To
what
me,
it
they are.
is. I like them. And then lawyer owns his own firm. Like I've been on the apps, and I'm like, when I see someone that's a lawyer, I'm like, maybe I guess I associate them with being like consistent and maybe and like, I don't know, there's something there. But then he lives with
His children's mother.
a relationship. Like
Yes. For 5 years.
he's been cheating. He's looking for a second woman to help her out
Kids.
house. So he's wanting, and that's on, to each their own. He is wanting to have sister wives, and that
Pretty
is
much.
so. It can't be him. It really can't be him. But then again, Robert Smith, great age, I'm allegedly 5'3", 5'4", and I have been trying to assess any biases I have with height in dating. So I see 5'5", and I'm thinking about how if I'm just like on autopilot, kind of on the apps, like
Yeah.
I think I swipe past people who are 5'5", so I'm like, that's something there that I need to process. Cancer, not sure, Amazon driver. Okay, it has me curious about his path and like also what our lifestyle would look like.
Right.
But okay, at first I was like, but hey, let's give him a chance. I'm currently looking for my better, someone to take on this life with. I'm like, he's serious. But then he says he's big on 50-50 and not just, and I have been thinking about that a lot only because of it's not really 50-50 with like I'm learning about the experience of being like a mother at home or a woman, and like it's not the idea of it being like we always have to be 50-50. It's like no, it's like whoever. Yeah, I don't like the idea of just splitting things. I like the idea of like everyone giving 100.
Right.
I do not mind sharing the background if that is what I need to do. So I would say I think I need to be single here.
Okay.
I really do. I would prefer Robert. Maybe there's something we can work on, but there's something to me that is giving that he needs to like
work on himself first.
He needs to work on himself. Maybe I feel like when people have these gender role ideas of like, I want my woman to cook and clean, I'm like, do you actually like love women? Like I need someone who loves and adores women and wants to take care of them too. So I guess I'll go with Robert. We'll go on a date. I don't like cheaters at all. I can't see Mr. Daniel. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go on a date with my 5'5" gender role king.
Okay, so that brings us to our first topic, how to deem someone dateable. So for the first question I have is, does a person's core values play an important role when getting to know someone?
I used to not think so. I think I used to think that people didn't really have a set of these like core values. I used to think that people may have grown up a certain way, but life changes you so much that like maybe if I would find out about someone's past, I'd be like, they are different now, which I guess values do change. But I think like the values that I look for now in someone is like one of them. I'm like, did you grow up around women? Do you actually value women?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of people have been like there's women online who are just making a joke like, no, your boyfriend actually hates you. Like because they'll hear things that the boyfriend says and they'll be like, honey, it seems like he hates you. And so I'm like, yeah, I think there's a lot of men who like women, but they don't love
I understand them. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think your core values are what comes out under pressure too. Like even if you try to be something you're not, like
it will come out who you really are.
It will come out, especially after the 3-month mark, apparently. Yeah, and I think about you and your husband and how you share a lot of core values and like your spiritual beliefs. There's like a number of things that you guys talk about, and I see clearly with you guys, like family, like so many things that are just really beautiful. And like I think if you don't agree on those things, if you don't agree on certain like core things, and then you stay together, like someone's gonna end up being very resentful. And so I'm like, what I've been working on in therapy is like, what are my core beliefs that I don't want to budge on? And I'm like, I struggle with people pleasing. So I'm struggling with being like, this is my core belief and I don't need to be ashamed of it.
Exactly.
I need to own it and I need to find someone that
can match it. Or like, like bring something to the table as well too.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I think so. For the record, I was at their wedding and I was just hearing their speeches to each other. I was at Darius and Dominic's wedding, and it was just like, yeah, you could tell that there's these core things that they really aligned on. It wasn't just anything that was like superficial, and y'all really support each other.
Thank you.
I want to be like y'all.
So next question I have, what are your non-negotiables to help you figure out if a person's worth your time or getting to know?
Oh, I feel like I have to reverse think about it and think about when I've been like, this ain't it. Okay. I would say, well, I guess I'm thinking through the lens of like a first date and I think and how it
Hmm.
goes. I'm like, what is something that if it happens on a first date, it's a non-negotiable? I think if they're like, they don't ask any questions at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they try to like move too fast with certain things. I'm
Hmm.
like, no. Or if they, okay, this is another thing. I think I've been thinking about love bombing. Have you heard of it? Where it's like,
Yes.
yeah, I think it's pretty, like everyone knows about it now, but like a non-negotiable for me, this is like new. I didn't used to give me some time to think through. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So this non-negotiable of like being love bombed is like now I'm able to see it and be like notice what it's feeling like in my body too and be like this doesn't feel right. It feels like it's too fast. You can't want me to meet your family. You don't
Mm.
know me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't know what that was. So I think my whole life, like even up to my first like boyfriend my first boyfriend was when I was like 14. Not great. But this like love bombing of like promising things and putting pressure on me to be on their like intensity level. I would just kind of be uncomfortable but be like, I guess this is how it's supposed to be when you love someone, you know? But now I see it and I start to feel my body and like validate like, oh, this feels too fast.
Hmm.
My
Because
person's going to be slow and steady.
yeah, because I also would say like once, like how can I put it? Once you know, like you feel like safe with somebody, comfortable with somebody, you should also like take mental notes of that because that's rare
Yeah.
to come by with somebody nowadays, especially in today's generation.
Yes, I feel like I've been noticing with friends more. Like I'm trying to lean into my friendships a lot more and I'm like it's interesting. My friendships right now are teaching me a lot about what I want in a partner because I used to think separate things like a partner it's supposed to be passionate, fat and like a fast thing and like you're it's you against the world. It was so intense and then
Right.
friendships were like this place where I could just be and be silly and be fun and so now I'm like I need to have that in a relationship. I need that like I'm trying to think, okay, non-negotiables. I think if they were very recently out of a relationship,
Yeah, it's a red flag.
red flag.
If they
It's
be like, I'm still trying to figure out what I want out of things, that's this code for they're still looking for, other options.
exactly. I've been dealing with that on the apps because it'll be like I'm looking for a short-term relationship, and I'm getting like kind of unhinged lately, where I'll just be like,
Hmm.
so what does that mean for you? Like, what is
Yeah.
short-term? What do you like? At a certain point, you're just like, this has been long enough.
Right.
You're like, okay. Yeah. And then, oh, I'm just thinking of something. Oh, I like to see how people act towards other people too. So a non-negotiable for me is like, if I start seeing their like temper with other people or they don't treat
Hmm.
people with respect, like that just is like turns me off because I'm like, I don't want, you know, things are going to come up in our relationship. So if you're
Yeah.
treating me like that, that's not about to be me.
Right. I know
Yeah.
that's right.
But I
Okay.
guess I'm curious too, though. I want to know, like, do you remember when you were dating, if there were things that felt like non-negotiable? Like, I would assume most people talk about, like, oh, do you want a family? Do you believe in marriage? Like, those things. And those things are very important to me too.
Hmm.
But I guess, yeah, I'm like, I have to get to that point first where, well, I don't know. I guess if someone like doesn't believe in marriage at all, I guess that is non-negotiable for me because it doesn't have to
Yes.
be any type of, it doesn't have to be like this crazy wedding, but I'm like, do you believe in commitment long term? Do you know what marriage takes, you know? So,
Because when I was dating, I don't think I've been engaged 3 times.
really?
Yeah, Nick and then my other two exes. Yeah, and like the first one, I was like 21, and it was very toxic. Like to where both were Scorpios, and he had a mouth, I had a mouth, but like one of us didn't know. I felt like we didn't know how to like stop, like fold, as in like let things go. So it just
Yes.
escalated to where his mom and dad, like his mom didn't like me for no reason, and like he had a twin sister who didn't like me either, all because of like I just wanted like your respect. As in, I felt like he put his family before me, and to me that's
Mhm.
non-negotiable. Because I feel like the person you're dating
Yeah.
should come first, and
Yes.
then like your family per se. So it's like I
Yeah.
always like cross the line with that.
Yeah, that you don't feel safe with your partner if they're,
Mm,
because I mean, if they don't, if their family doesn't like you, it's like, what are they telling them?
right.
And what part, and you don't want that. And like,
Hmm.
but yeah, you've been engaged 3 times. That's like
Yeah.
that. Well, that tells me is that you like believe in engagement and marriage, and you've always like continued to try when things didn't
Hmm.
work out, and that's like a really brave thing to keep coming back to being like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try it again. I deserve it. You know,
Hmm.
even though this didn't work out.
Because the second time it didn't work out, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm done trying like to get married. And then like Nick came in out thin air. And I feel like once you stop looking, then a person will like come out. And my dad always told me, well, you'll find someone once you stop looking for it. And it was true. Because I wasn't looking and Nick just popped out.
I
So
feel
yeah.
like I can relate to that like what you're saying, because I think I told you this, but I was with someone for like most of my 20s, and at the end we were engaged and then we got married. We were married for like 6 months.
Oh no, I know that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, I was with someone from like 20 to 27,
Hmm.
and like, we were finished up school, got our first jobs, like moved from different states, and then we kind of talked about marriage, but we were like, we'll do it on our own terms.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, we decided to elope. Like our families knew, but it was just he and I in Italy,
Yeah.
and
Oh
it was like
wow.
it was beautiful, really. Like Italy, yeah, but yeah, then a lot happened and it didn't work out, and that's a whole nother story about how it really ended, because I
Hmm.
don't think it was done in a respectful way towards me. So that's on that. But I feel like these past 2 years I've been like, I've stopped, I've been working on myself, but then I found myself wanting to, like, I've been putting in effort to try to meet someone. And it feels like, at least the way like modern dating is, like, I don't think I can handle this, like the apps, the constant
Hmm.
going on dates. It's like, so I feel like I'm getting to that point. Like, I feel like I'm getting to that point, especially with me. I'm going to be starting yoga teacher training in January, later this month, or
Yeah.
when this comes out, I will have hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah, but, and I'm like, I just need to work on myself and enjoy myself. And that sounds like cliche, but I more so mean, I used to think that a man was going to, like, I grew up thinking, and I was like, marriage is it for me? Like, I'm gonna do things, but like, a man is like, love is, a romantic relationship is the purpose of life.
Hmm.
Now my purpose is expanding. And so I'm like trying to decenter dating and men a little bit, and like,
Yeah.
so anyways, hopefully then I'll be, yeah, someone will just come out of thin air and
They will.
match me.
They will. Because manifestation is real too. So just
Yeah.
manifest it because it will happen.
It will happen, and someone will match my energy, and it will be healthy. I will feel safe and calm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so for next topic is monogamy now considered taboo, and I think this topic's gonna be like very controversial because struggling with monogamy is not just something the Gen Y or Gen Z just deal with. I feel like it's other generations too that deal with this because
Mhm.
I've known like a ton of people from an old generation who deal with like struggling for commitment. So first question, do you think dating apps and social media play a huge role in why monogamy is now taboo?
Yeah, this is a great topic. And I like that you're talking about the intergenerational stuff, because I literally think about that all the time. And so we'll get into
Yes.
that. But I think that with dating apps, you have so many options, especially from, I guess, like, I'm, hetero, I'm
Hmm.
dating guys, like, and from this perspective, like, from what I've heard, there's like a lot of female options on the apps that are like tens. Like, you're just swiping. The guys have, because just the ratio is different. You have like,
Hmm.
I don't know, a lot of women to men ratio or something like that. But I think that there's so many options, and if something doesn't work out, even like a little bit with someone, you feel like, oh, well, maybe there's something better out there.
Right.
So I think in general, it's like, I feel like there was a joke that was like, our great grandparents may have only seen one baddie their whole life. They just might be in the village, and they may have looked over and they saw their second baddie. Every 5 years they see one baddie. And it's like, you're seeing 20 now if you're on the apps or whatever. It's like, that is crazy. And so I think there's this sense of like, well, I don't really need to commit because there's just so many options. So yeah, I definitely
Hmm.
think dating apps play a role. And now, well, for people who are, I guess it is controversial, because saying that people who are in non-monogamous relationships, that it's just because they need all these options, like, I don't know if that's right, because I haven't been in one. So I guess I'll preface that by saying that. But like, they're on the dating apps now, you can select that you're in an ethically non-monogamous relationship. I'll say that a
Yeah.
lot. It'll be like, I have a partner. I'm partnered right now, but I'm looking for someone just for me or something like
Yeah.
that. And I always look at that, and a part of me is like, I always admire people who live a lifestyle that kind of, not even with this, but in general, I like people who kind of go off the grain, people who maybe like just go live in a, like, do van life and travel, or just like, or like this system, like they're just like, forget the system, I don't want to go do this 9 to 5. Like, I love people who are kind of like against the grain. So anyways, I think about when I look at that, like the options for selecting ethically non-monogamous, and I'm on the apps and I'm looking at them and I'm like, you know what? Part of me is like, okay, this is their way of being like, I'm not gonna abide by a system. Like, I'm going to, maybe they don't believe in marriage, but then
Yeah.
the other part of me, these assumptions come up of like, well, I feel like I need a lot of attention, security in a relationship. And I'm like, if you have someone else, like,
Yeah.
it seems like some people who, it has people who I have dated who are just dating me. I'm like, I needed all the energy. So I'm like, I definitely, like, I haven't swiped on anyone that isn't ethically non-monogamous because I'm like, I just don't think, like, for me to build the trust I want to build, I need someone it's just us,
Right. Because
Yeah.
also too, I think commitment. I feel like it's a choice that you have to, like, if you're dating someone, you have to make it every single day of your life. Because I feel like also too, like, temptation is always gonna be around you. That's why, like, I limit temptation around me. Like, I don't have no guy friends. I don't like
Yeah.
talk to other guys because I don't want it to like look a certain way or come off a certain way or get the idea like, this person, like this guy, I'm not getting this from Nick, so I'm gonna get it from somebody else. So that's why I just don't do it at all. Just for that
I
reason.
think that's great too because you also don't know, like, you might have the best intentions with a guy friend. You might be like, oh, if you two have other groups of friends and like whatever, you're like, oh, this person's really nice. You might have the best intentions and still you don't know what situation they might try to put you in.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree. And what was I going to say about social media and non-monogamy? Like, I'll also see a couple get on there. Like, it'll be a picture of a couple that's like, we're looking for another person. I don't know. I feel like for me, I would not feel like fully, like they were ever fully invested because it's like if something happens, you have your main person. Like, what am
Yeah.
I?
Right.
And I can't handle that. But yeah, with when you were talking about the intergenerational thing, like I think about this a lot because I have friends' grandparents who are like, yeah, growing up, my husband and I, we had 2 kids and he was cheating on me with everyone, but we were still in a marriage and I needed him financially. Like the kids back in that time, the men just did what they wanted to do and boys will be boys and, at least he's a provider and he's not abusive and you're just like,
Yes.
yeah. So I've seen that where people have sort of an agreement. They come to some kind of agreement that works for them for now, where they're like, we're in this situation. We have 2 kids. You can do what you want. But I think that was because the woman had no other choice.
Yeah.
I think obviously if she would have chosen someone who committed and eventually the person I'm thinking of, she did it was years though when they were adults, like left him. And that must have been really scary.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my grandma, she, I look up to her a lot, especially more recently because I'm single. And what's funny is in my family, my parents and my siblings say that like I resemble my grandma. I'm just like in my actions and like they're like, you're kind of turning into her, with your there's like so many things. Like apparently this above the couch are like that looks like grandma's house. Yeah, but she divorced my grandpa on my dad's side when they were really young, and I don't think that there wasn't any like cheating or anything like that, but I guess it got to a point where he wasn't showing up in the relationship as like a father figure, the one like the type that she needed him to be, and they were fighting a lot. And eventually, and this was probably, I guess it was early 70s, like she decided she wanted to divorce him and had to move in with her mom and stuff like that. And I'm like, that is the strength it took then. Like now I think divorced people, like, I don't know. I think it's easier. Like back then, your whole church would probably go against you. So I think about that. Yeah, exactly. It was like super taboo to say the word taboo back then, but yeah, it must have been really hard. And I don't know. I guess people still deal with that now, like because I'm thinking in a relationship, if you're monogamous with the person and then you want to be non-monogamous, like. I'm always curious, how does that conversation start? Is it really
I don't know.
Is it both people's choices? I don't know either. Yeah, because this is what I was thinking about is like the idea that one person can't fulfill all your needs. Like I hear that when it comes to like me and my sister talk about that with like the importance of friendships, because she's like, you can't expect one person to be the only person, you talk to about this, and this. So like, I understand that, and I'm able to expand on my friendships or talk to my family or like a therapist. It's like one person can't meet all your needs that way, but like, to me, that doesn't mean, okay, go find someone who does. It means,
Yeah.
expand, like towards friendships and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that? Where people are like, one person can't be the only person, you rely on everything for.
I would say I think someone can be like everything you want them to be, but you have to like just have the communication to like let them know what you need at that moment, and let them
Right.
let them know like what you need in this moment, the next moment. 'Cause I feel like the people do change like every year, every season. Well, I feel like once you like I said communication, let somebody know what you need, they can adapt. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. Time and communication, that's like what a relationship is. Like, you don't meet someone and immediately they can meet all your boxes. It's like,
Yeah.
and you don't know what all your boxes are. So it's like, yeah, communication, you get to a point where you're like, hey, this is a need I have. And if they can't, meet you on that, then it's like, continue talking about it. But then it's like, maybe this isn't my person if this is a big
Hmm.
need. So I think some people, maybe they don't believe in having a person. Maybe that's what it is. And they're just like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I need multiple people to make up
Correct.
one perfect person.
And I have
Yeah.
one last question to ask you before
Yeah.
it concludes. What advice would you give to your younger self about dating?
Oh my goodness. I I would tell little Allie, who was like having her first boyfriend or just trying so hard to be like accepted and not like by the guys, the boys, like I would just tell her she doesn't have to.
Hmm.
She can say no to things, the pressures that come. Like, I think about like parenting my younger self a lot. It's like a therapy thing. And
Yeah.
I was like, I would have been talking to if I was my like parent, I would have been like talking to little me about everything.
Hmm.
Hopefully I would have had a relationship where little me would have opened up about like the pressure
Yeah. Yeah.
experiencing. And I just want to tell little me, like, you don't have to do that. Like, he's not worth it. He's just this and you're young, like, I think I didn't have a strong voice then. So I would just like go along with things and be like, okay, if this is what love is.
Hmm.
And I would just be like, listen, you are so like, you're amazing. And you're going to be amazing whether this person likes you or not. And
You're
that's
not.
something
Yeah, like you're enough.
yeah, you're enough. You're enough. I think also like everyone goes through this period when they're in their like preteens where like a year ago you were playing with toys and now there's pressures to like go to the dance and like
Hmm.
try to fit in. It's like you're still a baby and there's all these
Yeah.
pressures to like grow up. And I just want to like preserve that little, like when I have a daughter or son one day, I just want to be like, I want to preserve that baby in them and like playfulness and
Like keep your
preserve.
innocence, pretty much.
Yeah, so I think that like I'd be like, it's okay to just like do I would like scrapbook in my room. I'd be like, you can scrapbook in your room, like you don't have to go to this bonfire and
Hmm.
try a beer for the first time. Like you can wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And you have any like final thoughts before we conclude this episode?
Oh my goodness. Well, I kind of want to know what you would tell your younger self.
I would say don't let society, like make you believe you have to rush to like, like get someone, do this, like have to like, cause I know when I was younger, like for some reason I was 18, I wanted to like be married and like have a child at a young age. And like I rushed myself to the point where like, I won't say I was desperate, but like I was going to the wrong people for like,
Yeah.
validation. Because okay, so like the song Demi Lovato, what's the song called? What's the song called? It's like it's a lyric. It says you're not somebody unless you have somebody.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know the song.
Yeah, so like I felt like I would tell myself, like I said, you're enough, and you don't have to like put yourself in predicaments to where you have to be
Yeah.
like be clingy. Like I said, love bomb somebody to like get love back in return. Just love yourself,
Yes.
because it will
Yeah.
come one day.
Oh, I love that. And I feel that.
Thank you.
Like that's an interesting way to put it. You don't have to put yourself in like compromised situations because you're trying to get affection or whatever
Or
from
be loved, or
others.
be seen by
Be
somebody
loved and
else.
seen. And we all do it because, oh my God, it's like, it's the best thing. It's what we
Yeah.
want. Who doesn't want that? And yeah, I think right now in my life, I am starting to be able to see my patterns really clearly of like, okay, you're doing this because right now maybe you feel a little lonely. You're doing this. It's like, I feel really blessed to be in this point in my life where I'm just living alone. I have my little cat. I have a cat. I'm working. Like, I'm not in a relationship. I'm building friendships. Like,
Mm.
doing all these things. And I'm finally able to, like, it almost feels like I'm reparenting myself, but it feels like I'm, like, validating all these things. It's okay. If you feel really uncomfortable with someone, that's probably not your person, or if you feel like, for me, I guess with, like, love, like, not even love bombing, but, like, the clinginess, like, I have anxious attachment.
I do too. I still have it. I still have it.
We're in the anxious attached club. And, I mean, we didn't get that way for no reason. Like, we were let down a lot. And so we're,
Yeah.
like, we desperately want secure love. So we're, like, checking for it, and we've been let down. So, like, right, the right person is going to be consistent and not make you feel, like, shameful about that.
Yeah, make you feel bad for it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I'll leave it there, and that I love being on your podcast, and I'd love to be on again.
Thank you.
Just anytime, even if you want, just, like, whatever. If you have other guests on, you need a couple.
Like co-hosts.
Yeah, you just let me know.
Yes. But thank you. It means a lot for you doing this as well.
Of course.
And that concludes this episode of Your Perspective. Bye-bye.
Your perspective.
Right? I do. But thanks again.
Of course.